Okay, so if you look closely at the list of sources for today's deep dive, you'll see one item that seems almost laughably specific.
Right. It's the Aurora Multimedia PS0077-1-US 24 VC 90-watt power supply.
Exactly. And our mission here is to move past that, that product label.
And really discover the surprising technical requirements and, maybe more importantly, the critical business context that's packed into this little piece of AV equipment.
This is not just about volts and amps.
No, it's about institutional procurement. And right away, we learned that this 90-watt PSU isn't some generic replacement part. It's purpose-built.
Specifically for two very particular units, right? The DXE-CT-RX3A and the DXE-CT-RX3CA.
Yes, which tells you this is a closed ecosystem from the start.
Okay, let's start with the basics then, the core technical data.
Sure. The input is a pretty standard global fare, 100 to 240 volts AC. The output is a clean 24 volts DC at 3.75 amps.
Which gives us that 90 watts. So if I'm an integrator trying to save some money, why can't I just, grab a cheaper 90-watt unit off the shelf?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's because you're dealing with high-end mission-critical AV systems. Look at the physical footprint.
The dimension.
The dimensions are specified to the millimeter, 132 by 57 by 31 millimeters. And even the DC connector plug size is specified down to a fraction of a millimeter.
Wow. Millimeter detail on a power adapter.
That precision tells you everything. It tells you this product is deeply integrated into a larger defined system. Those exact measurements guarantee compatibility, system reliability, and
they prevent someone from substituting a cheaper, unapproved unit.
Exactly. On a job site where failure is simply not an option.
Okay, let's connect this technical rigor to the money side. This is where it gets really interesting for you, the learner. The product is marketed as being tariff-free.
And that one little phrase is the bridge from engineering to procurement.
How so?
The source material says that designation lets them offer a, quote, more budget-friendly and cost-efficient solution. In large-scale AV, that's the name of the game.
But the compliance goes so much deeper than just import tariffs. This unit is also listed as TA compliant.
Yes, TAA, the Trade Agreements Act. And that is foundational for high-level sales.
What does that mean exactly?
TAA compliance means the product has to be made in the U.S. or one of its designated partner countries. The source links this directly to government purchasing of HDTVSupply products.
So it's the price of entry.
It's the price of entry. If you want to bid on a public sector contract, your power supply has to meet this mandate. No exceptions.
And once you filter the entire market down to units that fit those exact millimeter specs and are TAA compliant, you arrive at today's price.
Which is $118 for a 90-watt power supply.
And that price comes with, well, a major security blanket. The offering includes really strong support.
It does. Free USA shipping, the factory warranty, and what I found surprising was the free lifetime telephone, chat, text, fax, and email tech support.
That's a serious commitment. This isn't a disposable component.
Not at all. And to understand the whole ecosystem, you have to look at the other related components you shared.
Right. On one end, you have something like a standard high-speed HDMI 4K cable for, what, $10?
Just $10. But then on the other extreme, you have the specialized hardware that houses these components.
You mean the rack mount kit?
The Aurora Multimedia DXE-CT-RK3 rack mount kit, which is listed at a staggering $398.
That is a hefty price tag for a piece of metal. But now it makes sense. That rack mount isn't just holding devices.
No, it's housing components like our TAA-compliant, tariff-free PSU. It's all part of the required infrastructure for these complex, high-stakes projects.
So what does this all mean then? We've seen that component as seemingly simple as a power supply isn't really defined by its raw electrical output.
Not at all. It's defined by its role as an indispensable compliance and cost-efficiency tool. It's the key that unlocks the high-stakes AV installation market.
And so we leave you with this final thought. Given that this component is so specifically highlighted as tariff-free and TAA compliant, how much does the cost of compliance, that sheer necessity of meeting government sourcing mandates, truly drive the steep market price of specialized components, maybe even overshadowing the actual materials and engineering costs themselves?
Something to consider the next time you look at the price tag on an enterprise-level part.